Hello, this is Pastor Bob from MarriageHelp.com. We're continuing our series of lessons on what we're calling the 10 rules to a good fight. We have looked at 5 of the rules, and we're looking at number 6 today. The text that you have on the website, it has a tremendous lesson on how to stick to the subject. Rule number 6 is, I love you enough to stick to the subject. I want to take a little different tack on that for the video part of the lesson, because what I have here is a Rubik's Cube. A Rubik's Cube is a toy that my kids played with many years ago, and they bought a book, and when they read the book and then practiced many hours, they had the routine to where they could move the different parts of it together and line up the Rubik's Cube and solve the puzzle. When we're talking about marriage, and we're talking about how do we relate to one another and how do we take care of each other, especially during times of conflict, it isn't much different than trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. And if we're doing it just flying by the seat of our pants and we're trying to just figure out how to do this thing on our own, it's about as much benefit as trying to figure out the Rubik's Cube without any instruction book. The one thing that is missing in most of our conflicts in marriage is a sense of discipline. We don't follow the biblical outline. We don't have an outline of things that we're trying to accomplish. We don't have a blueprint like a builder would have. We don't have a set of plans like a contractor would have that's going to repair a house. All we do is we just hit problems and we start discussing them without much order, rhyme, or reason, or without much discipline. Rule number 6 says, I'm going to love you enough, and I want to demonstrate my love by being disciplined about our conflicts. Sticking to the subject is one of the first disciplines that we use. We can't solve 20 different random projects all at one time, any more than a contractor would come into a major home repair and suddenly just start nailing a shingle here and patching a window over there without some sense of what needs to be done and what order they need to be done in. Rule number 6 says, I'm going to love you enough to think about and stay focused on what we need to do to take care of each other. There's an example in there of a discussion about a wheelbarrow. What that means in the context of what we're trying to accomplish in MarriageHelp.com is to say, stick to one subject at a time, and then as a subcategory into that, choose your arguments wisely. Don't argue about trivial things that don't make any difference. Try and find something that you need to solve together and work on those important things first. A contractor would not start working on repairing the drywall in a house that needed to be fixed up before he fixed the roof, because the next rain would leak through the roof and damage the drywall that he just fixed. So with a sense of purpose, with a sense of commitment to the long-term project, with a sense of prioritizing so that we can look at what needs to be done. I love you enough to set a disciplined approach to our conflicts. That means looking at our relationship. I could make a bunch of rules. I could generalize on some things I've seen happen. Finances, discipline of children, how we're going to take care of different things. But that may not be what your issue is. But resolve yourself, when we get to lesson number 6, that you're going to look at what we have to discuss and what we're going to take care of. And we're going to use a disciplined approach to our discussions and our differences. Love, in its practical application, doesn't just strike out in crazy patterns or without nonsense agenda. It's a thoughtful, purposeful, progress-oriented, success-oriented adventure. And so when we come to lesson number 6, I'd like for you to think about, pray about, being a disciplined couple to sit down and start to make some priorities of what we need to solve first and what we can work on later and postpone till a later time when the most important things have been settled. Thank you for listening. Please listen to the rest of the lessons on the video series and their corresponding text on the website, and we'd love to be a part of helping your relationship get stronger at marriagehelp.com. Thank you very much.